Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday afternoon, I guess. It's a bit of an unusual time. All right, let's make sure we got everything going here. Today, I think we're just going to take it a little bit slow. Just a little bit slow, as today is my second day off. Just had two days off, and today I just came from jury duty, which they did not pick me, so that's good. That's interesting. That's good. Hey, Spread It Forward, how's it going? Today, I think we're just gonna take it a little bit slow. I want to play some video games. Get some Halo runs going. I haven't done that in a minute, and then we'll go to the IPCC report. Well, the Working Group 3 report. So we've got plenty of stuff to go through, and a good amount of time. So I'm pretty comfortable here. Do you play any competitive games or game modes? I know Halo has some pretty competitive game types themselves. I'm primarily, well, I used to primarily play, I used to primarily be very, very competitive in Big Team Battle, Team Slayer, and SWAT, which is, I think SWAT is like the biggest one in terms of like competition wise, because there's a little bit of an extra skill, I guess, level. Hey, Darknet, how's it going? There's a little bit of a skill level to that one. SWAT is my primary, I guess, like out of all the competitive game types, SWAT is like my primary primary go-to. I used to play in this thing called FC. Is it FC Universe or FC Wars? It'd be red versus blue, and it would be a Halo Reach competitive, well, Halo 3, Halo Reach, and I think they went into Halo 4. It's called FC Wars or FC Challenge or something like that. I could probably find it. How do I know? Oh, I remember it now. Forerunner conflict. That's what it is. I got out of Halo basically after Halo 3. Once they added Bloom and abilities, I noped out. There's only one game I got really good at, and nobody plays it anymore. Oh, which game? Halo 2 is bait. True. I going back, it's so floating and slow compared to the new games. It's funny. Yeah, it's. I mean, to me, it just feels like Halo, and to me, it just feels like Halo. Tribes Ascend. Never actually. Hey, Alio, how's it going? I'm glad you're here. I still got back and hit up tribes every now and then. Tribes Ascend. It's fun to skate everywhere around and hit those with shots. Huh. Free-to-play first-person developed by Hi-Res Studios for Microsoft Windows. Oh, it's a first-person. It's an FPS. It got some Halo vibes, too. I started playing it again and everybody hates me because they can't kill me. Nice. Oh, we're having some real gamer. We're gonna have some real gamer talk over here today. At least a little bit, you know? Just to lighten the mood. And jury duty is always unfun. Civics, yeah. Well, it's supposed to be important. I suck at every other game though. Hey, but at least you're unkillable in this one. And jury duty is well, I'll say this. It's incredibly boring. I'll say this. It's incredibly boring, and I made the massive, dare I say, giga cringe, oversight of leaving my battery bank at home. So I walked into that jury duty with like 30% on my phone. I was like, no. That being said, I was not selected after 4 rounds of. I assume each round is a different court case that's happening. So after 4 rounds, my number did not get called, and we were all just dismissed. So yeah, that works. Tribes was seen as direct competition to Halo, but it didn't get the marketing. It had a much higher skill ceiling, and that probably ran off newbies too. Yeah, I mean, just the screenshots, or I guess, yeah, screenshots of the game. It looks really just like it. It looks like the makers of Halo decided to like do an alternate version. It's like kind of like the copy my homework, but change it up a little bit. The tribes community was always toxic as fuck. Boo. Well, to be fair, that's also true. That's also true. Like, the old school days of, like, getting onto Xbox Live and having to, like, hear... and having to hear every slur in the book. I mean... Jesus Christ. Back then, you know? Nowadays, from... Then again, I always have, like, team chat off and voice chat off. But there have been times where, like, I don't know, it doesn't seem as bad as it used to be. It doesn't seem like this. Then again, I'm playing on PC, not on the actual console anymore. I don't know. Besides, like, a lot of those folks, like, especially, like, the old, like, OG Halo players are a little bit more grown up now. On Overwatch, you can actually report the toxic people and they actually get banned. Wow, so like they actually take that stuff seriously. Nice. Nice. That's not like a thing. That's not a thing in Xbox Live. I mean, like, there is a report button, isn't there? I don't know, because I have all of that turned off because I'm not gonna deal with it. I'm not gonna deal with team chat or any of that. Alright, I'm gonna move this over here, but I can see what I'm doing. I can close this. Valorant. I'm trying to remember Valorant. Uh-oh. I may have to slow it down here a bit. Hold on. Checking out that, very competitive, but has a large base of newbies to get started with. Similar to Counter-Strike, but with a more cartoonish vibe and wild abilities. Interesting. Let me reduce... It's more similar to Tribes, but in a tiny area, kind of action. Quake Champs. I have a feeling I've seen that name before. I hated Quake Champs, probably over 1,000 hours in Quake Live though. So yeah, I used to play, of course, Alio. I used to play in this place called Forerunner Conflict, and it would be a legitimate like competitive type of Halo community where really good Halo players would form up teams into red and blue, and they would stay with those teams and would recruit other players as their players left or whatnot, or their other players got higher in rank, and would make fire teams that were led by other people, and it was very, very interesting. It was like a legitimate like thing, a legitimate community that happened back then, and it's long since been deceased. But the spirit of Halo has not really left me since 2001, despite me not playing it for quite some time. I got rid of the subscription mode. I think it's $10 just now. Totally worth it to fight the bots. Nice. That might be worth. Hmm. I was really into the updated graphics, but the quickly fades when you see all the dumb abilities. Yeah, I mean, like, same reason I left Halo. Yeah, I mean, I just played the simple stuff, you know? We go to swap. We put Halo 4 for some warm-ups, and then we start adding more.
SWAT.
Can't get used to the crappy performance. I'm used to 0 lag. Oh. Let's see how this one does, because, whoa. Is there somebody there?
Gain the lead.
Oh. Boo. I could have helped during the winter storm back in February. I mean, yeah. All right, hold on. I can't handle three people coming at me from 3 different angles. All right.
Kill.
Where's that other guy? Come on. Wait, where'd he go? Really? Oh, ah, come on, boo. Valorant is still named the stupid game because when my wife wants me to do something, or come see me, I told her hold on and it ends with taking 45 minutes. Ooh, hold on, I didn't mean that one. Yeah, it always takes me a second because, like, I'm not, you know, I'm not pro gamer anymore. Not a real gamer, bro. Ooh. Excuse you. Not a real gamer boy anymore.
Head case.
Ah, come on. That was a nice shot. Thank you. I'm trying to achieve multiple nice shots. Boo. Alright, so there's a guy on the right. Where does he go? Oh. Oh man, so he bounced off the man cannon, got shot in midair, then hit the other man cannon, and bounced off. Where's the other guy? Come on. Oh, did somebody quit? Well, on the right. Okay. Where's the other guy? Oh, no. Is this on keyboard and mouse or controller? I've lost the ability to use a controller. I can only use keyboard and mouse. On the Xbox, I might be able to. That's how I used to play, but after playing with keyboard and mouse, I can't. I can't play it. It's not the same. I don't have the same reflexes or the same time. Is there somebody up there? Yeah, exactly. Mouse aim is better than the thumbsticks. This is the way.
5 kills to win.
Really? It's not even... I mean, despite my, like, subpar performance, seems like it's gonna be wrapped up pretty quickly.
Next kill wins.
Do I get it? Nope, somebody got it.
Game over. Victory.
I got a pink mouse for maximum gamer skills, and that's what I need. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do like the real like gamer, the real gamer move and get my girlfriend's gaming mouse, because I'm just using a regular mouse. Get my my girlfriend's gaming mouse, change the RGB to pink, and that's a super power, very powerful gamer move. Gotta have RGB lights on every accessory to have maximum accuracy. True. True. I have a RGB wireless keyboard from Target. Was it Target? No, it's not Target. I think it was TJ Maxx. It had like these like wonky $20 RGB totally gamer keyboards. So I got one for 20 bucks, but not for the gaming aspect, because I don't think this is a real gaming keyboard. But it was wireless, and it was It was wireless and it was RGB. It looks cool. It's interesting enough for me anyways. Come on, don't die on me. Come on, buddy. Is he dead? Oh, behind us. Oof. Another problem with not playing this game consistently is the maps. Never seen this map. Never seen this map in my life.
Head case. Gain the lead.
Oh, come on. Wait, on the right? Where is he? Shoot. I listened to President Biden speaking to the UN. Impressive? Impressive isn't the real word I would use, but I suppose, you know, coming after Donald Trump, I think anything pretty much is impressive. Honestly, I'm talking out of my ass. I haven't seen the speech yet. We may have time to look it over. I used to mod Xbox controllers. What? And RGB lights. What? That's pretty cool, actually. Woo! Wrong snapshot. Oh, okay, fine. Hold on, we gotta focus. We're actually pretty close. Oh, shoot. Nope. Ah, that's what I get for reloading. Okay. Boo. That was a bad one. Where did that come from? Is he up here? I think he's up here.
Head case.
Somebody just went up the lift. Where's that lift? Jesus, that's one guy is just wiping the floor with us. Just got murked by him again. No, I don't think it's sarcasm. You fell right into my trap. Shit. So a key like thing when you play a lot of like first person shooters, a lot like I've learned that sometimes you can actually get some free points if you if you know the map very well. You can kind of like put your shots before they come out, before they turn the corner. Like if you know that like a lot of people use this corner, you kind of just turn around and you kind of like start shooting right before, and sometimes you get like free like that. Oh, okay, but you saw what I did. Same like with a bunch of macho Neely posturing against China. Huh. Yeah, I have to check out the speech. We can do that later. Boo. Boo. Wow, the disrespect. The disrespect. Did you guys see that? It's comments chat in Fortnite when you know someone's about to take your wall, you pre-fire. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Pre-fire. I can't believe the amount of disrespect. It's unbelievable. Alright, one more round, and maybe we'll add some more to do some throwbacks to Halo 3. Or Halo, not Halo 3 or Halo Reach 2. So, fun story. I think like 2 days. Well, I'll say like I'll say about 3 to 4 probably would be more accurate. Okay, this map I know a little bit better. You can still play the old Halos online. Yeah. Remade, I guess you would say. Lost the lead. Ooh. Fudge. Yeah, the Master Chief Collection, that's right. So a couple of days ago, I'll say 3 to 4. Whoa, I'll say 3 to 4. And I started feeling like this really bad pain on my toe. Didn't pay much attention to it. And then I started noticing a little swelling. I was like, huh. That's interesting. And then it started really hurting. So yesterday, the culmination of events came together, and I decided to press on said bump. And man, let's not get into too much TMI, but one can only guess with that amount of buildup. It seems like it was some type of like cyst or infection, I guess, because my sister is a nurse, and she looked at it and she was like, yeah, this is probably an infection. We're gonna have to drain that. Unfortunately, it seemed to be too kind of thick, but it decided to start coming out, which is great. I was able to squeeze out all the stuff, and lo and behold, a couple days later and we're good. I think. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt as much. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Fudge.
Gain the lead.
This guy's still here. Ooh.
Gain the lead.
No, I don't think it was an ingrown toenail. But yeah, it hurt. You have gout? No, I don't think so. Ooh. What happened over here? Really?
Gain the lead. Lost the lead. Lost the lead. Lost the lead.
This is a really close one. Oh, that's not good. I just got a double kill. Man, that was really painful. On the plus side, it doesn't hurt as much anymore. It was definitely under the skin. Okay, not bad. I'll boldly go where no fish has gone before, like the water, like land. Wait, I think if you just are on land, you've gone where no fish. Well, for most majority of fish have gone, have not gone. If you are currently on land, you definitely have gone where no fish has gone. Well, majority of no fish have not gone. I actually think that's how we got here. Probably. Probably. Ugh. I don't know. Hold on, Acre. Wait. No, don't do it. Ugh.
Nearing victory.
Boo. Come on. No. Oh. Do Halo 3 and Halo Reach. And this Master Chief Collection is cross-platform too. So there are people on mouse and keyboard, there are people on console, there are people with controller on console, with controller on PC.
What?
Oh, the pit.
Eliminate the enemy team. Lost the lead.
Jesus, really? Okay. So the pit used to be a Halo, a staple Halo 3 map for us. We would gather on a Friday night, and you know, at the time, we were kids. We'd gather all our money together, and we would buy a copious amount of chicken nuggets. And and we would play the pit for hours. 4 hours. Four hours into the night. Interesting that they remade it for Halo 4.
Gain the lead.
Gain the lead. Whoa.
Gain the lead.
So we're gonna have to force them to come to us. Haha, that didn't work.
Gain the lead.
Where's the other guy? Oh, he's up here.
Gain the lead.
Okay.
Gain the lead. Gain the lead. Lost the lead. Lost the lead.
No. Whoa. Chill, chill, chill. Where's the other guy? That sounded like pistol shots.
Lost the lead. Lost the lead. Come back, kid.
Can't believe that took me way too long. No! Oh my god. That's such a bad one. What a bad one. Boo. Where'd that come from? Gotcha.
Enemy team nearing victory. Game over.
Boo. All right, that's it. We're taking a W for the next one, okay? We're gonna take a W for the next one. Only W's are acceptable, okay? The only thing I want to see here is another W. Come on. Even though I have like negative, it's okay. Snowbound? What is snowbound? Hold on. Now this
Gain the lead.
this is classic. Gain the lead. Even the announcer voice is different. Is deeper. EQ different. Can we actually use these turrets? No, I guess not. What are you shooting at, friend?
Gain the lead.
Eager Lord, I think we fought this guy before. No.
Gain the lead.
I think it's coming from this side. Boo. I would argue it's harder to see the blue team in this area. What? Oh, so that that's what they're there for. Okay, I see. Duly noted. Right, backstab had ballista. I forget what they're called. Shade turrets. I'm called shade turrets. Hey Dustin, how's it going?
Game over.
Just coding my fantasy RPG as usual, although it's a bit distracting by setting up my will. Interesting. I did say we were gonna get another W, and we did. We got one W. No, 2 W's on the board. 2 W's and 2 L's on the board. Battle Canyon. Are we back in Halo 4?
SWAT.
SWAT. Oh no, this is Halo 3. No, Halo Reach. Yeah, this is Halo Reach.
Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Lost the lead.
Yikes. Where is this coming from? Oh, he's up here. Oh. Okay.
Tied the leader. lost the lead. Tied the leader, lost the lead.
Boo. Wow. No, don't stand in front of me. Whoa. Oh, come on. I know I got that one. Why gotta be like that? The thing with the DMR is you gotta be very you gotta pace your shots because if you don't it is inaccurate. Oof. Yikes, he got us from the top. Oh, this is gonna be a big L. This one's gonna be a big L. I can feel it. I've got 3 points on the board, so I'm happy about those. We're so close.
Tied the leader.
We never mind. I
Gained the lead.
That's not such a big not as big of an L.
Lost the lead. Tied the leader.
Not as big of an L as I thought it would be.
Lost the lead.
Shoot. No. Okay, pay attention. What? Come on. Okay. Easy,
Game
easy.
over.
That's okay. Alright, we're gonna get a W, alright? There's no if, and, or buts. We're gonna get a W. I swear, some people have like the most unique, uh, the most weirdest usernames. Alright, we're back to Halo 3.
Gain the lead. Gain the lead. Gain the lead.
Oh, come on.
Gain the lead. Gain the lead.
Not one?
Gain the lead.
Oh, that was almost that was almost 2 seconds away from a triple. Alright, 2 seconds. We were 2 seconds away from a triple, folks. The heck? I didn't even see that one. That was almost Pog. Almost. Almost Pog. Shoot, here it comes. That would have been amazing. Oh, I hit that one. Come on. Where'd he go? Yikes. Are they just trying to like shoot in between the thing? How do I even get to that person? Well, something's going on here. If we get a W, it won't be because of me, that's for sure. But, hey.
Betrayed.
What? Oh, come on. That is some bullshit. Here we go, here's another one. Where is he? Shoot.
Game over.
Game over. Nah, we took that. I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. Give me some Halo 4, please. You know, I don't know why SWAT was put in, oh, SWAT nums. Nice. I don't know why SWAT was put in, social games instead of competitive games. Because, I don't know, I think SWAT used to be very, very competitive back in the day.
SWAT.
SWAT. With...
Lost the lead. Tied the leader. Gained the lead. Lost the lead.
So close. What? It's so creepy. Oh my god, that didn't help at all. How do I get out of here? Oh, I put 1 point on the board. 1 point on the board. I wonder how people are able to get so many accurate shots in a short amount of time.
Revenge.
Okay. I'll take it. A lot of aiming is about having the right gear and setup. True. They have 420 Hz monitors and ultra lightweight mice. Well, I've got a very professional Dell monitor that I use for work. That's what I'm running on. And a standard wireless, no doubt, no less. And a standard wireless Mouse. Whoa, he got me. He hit me from all the way over there. Jesus. I finally upgraded my monitor last year, and people already have ones that are twice as good. Jesus. Oh, hey. Shoot. Yeah, that's the thing with like technology. Hey, he's a chap. That's the thing with technology. It's like, by the time you blink, there's already a new. Oh, come on. Where's the other guy? No. Just let me... Stop. Okay. By the time you, like, blink, there's already a new monitor, a new mouse, a new keyboard.
Tie the leader. Gain the lead.
No, no, I didn't press Q fast enough. I didn't press Q fast enough. You know what? This is gonna be a close game.
Lost the
Wow, boo. Boo, I just cost my team the game.
lead. Game over.
It could have been 49-50. But I cost the team the game. Yeah, and it'll be half the price. That's right. I remember when 120 hertz monitors first came out and the people who had them dominated everyone on 60 hertz. What? That's like unbelievable to me that's like such a such a difference. Such a difference. Wow. I'm gonna play one more for Halo 4 and just because I like Halo 4. $500? Ooh, I don't know about that one. I know. I think the most I've spent for a monitor, that I'm still using years, I think it was like 120, and I thought that was a lot. No, I'm sorry. It was about $150, and I thought that was a lot of money. Now you can... What? That was in 2013. Oh, maybe I do have a 120 hertz monitor from Acer. But that's not the one that I'm running on. I'm just using the one for work because, well, it's just easier. It's not like I play video games every day or I stream video games every day. So the standard stock monitor that's probably 10 years old. I don't know. It's an old Dell. It works fine just for these for work purposes and for playing YouTube and articles, you know. So I don't see like the need. However, oh yeah, and the only reason I'm not using the fancier Acer monitor, which is the $150 one, is because for some reason I can't quite have dual PCs connected to it. The neat thing about about this one is, even though it's older, even though it doesn't have like no real fancy no real fancy bells or whistles whatsoever, the thing that makes this one is I have a myriad of different inputs. So the work laptop has a different input and the HDMI has a different input. So I actually have two computers connected to it simultaneously. All I have to do is flip the source, change the source, and I'm at work. It's that easy. I change my source and I'm boom, right at work. So if you guys see me sometimes like going like this or touching over here, what I'm doing is just getting ready for work.
SWAT!
Boo, it's this map again. Oh man, I hope we end in a, I hope we end this in a W. That would be really nice. And like, you can kind of tell, like, the refresh rate on this thing isn't, like, good. It's not good. Not good at all. Alright, buddy, where are you? Come on. Come on, I saw you walk by there. Where the hell did you go? Oh, shoot. Now there's two of them. Yikes. Hmm. Yikes. Wow, I actually got him. Somebody took that lift. Boo. Oh man, they're all here. Oh shoot. Okay. Where's the third guy? Ugh. Where's a good vantage point where I can see what the heck is going on?
Enemy team nearing victory. Comeback kill.
Boo. Ooh. Not bad. I gotta keep working on my I gotta keep working on my aim, and yeah, just get better stuff. Nah, next time I'm gonna play the next time I get play, I'm just gonna use the better mouse. Just get good, bro.
If you
Oh no, now I'm getting... Oh no. Oh, never mind. Is this the speech that we were talking about?
For all people, whether crisis. Mr. Secretary.
Assembly, I have the honor to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United
R.
States
Biden
of America,
Jr.
to invite him to address the Assembly.
You did have some really
Mr.
sick
President,
headshots. Thank you. I appreciate that.
my fellow
Some
delegates,
old remnants of
all
my
those who dedicate themselves to this
some old remnants of my old Halo days, which I need to polish and get back into it. That just means I need to play more.
Noble mission of this institution. It's my honor to speak to you for the first time as President of the United States. We meet this year in a moment of intermingled with great pain and extraordinary possibility. We've lost so much to this devastating pandemic that continues to claim lives around the world and impact so much on our existence. We're mourning more than 4.5 million people, people of every nation, from every background. Each death is an individual heartbreak, but our shared grief is a poignant reminder that our collective future will hinge on our ability to recognize our common humanity and to act together. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the clear and urgent choice that we face here at the dawning of what must be a decisive decade for our world, a decade that will quite literally determine our futures. As a global community, we're challenged by urgent and looming crises, wherein lie enormous opportunities if we can summon the will and resolve to seize these opportunities. Will we work together to save lives, defeat COVID-19 everywhere, and
they
take the
made him
necessary steps
orange.
to prepare ourselves for the next
True.
pandemic, for there will be another one?
Wait, Drew. Hold on. Drew. Oh, man. Hold on, sorry.
And resolve to seize these opportunities. Will we work together to save lives, defeat COVID-19 everywhere, and take the necessary steps to prepare ourselves for the next pandemic, for there will be another one? Or will we fail to harness the tools at our disposal as the more virulent and dangerous variants take hold? Will we meet the threat of challenging climate, the challenging climate we're all feeling, already ravaging every part of our world with extreme weather? Or will we suffer the merciless march of ever-worsening droughts and floods?
Okay, but like, these are all very cool, very vague. Very, very vague, like, stuff. What do you plan to do? And how can you get up there to the UN, right? How can you get up to the UN and speak about climate change and all this other beautiful stuff, and meanwhile, you know, still approving pipelines and still not much is being done on that department? I mean, how could you stand and say these things? Yeah, he even has outlines around his eyes. Oh man, oh no. I think the more he stays as president, is he just gonna like morph into Wait, is 2024 gonna be like a watch 2024? What's gonna happen is like Trump is just gonna like appear. It was Biden all along. Yeah, it's the face swap starting. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's exactly what I was thinking. Being president does age you. That is true. No, I think it's just like a lot of either like, I don't know if it's like makeup or I don't know. What was I looking for?
More intense fires and hurricanes.
Oh yeah.
Longer heat waves and rising seas. Will we affirm and uphold the human dignity and human rights under which nations in common cause more than 7 decades ago formed this institution? Will we apply and strengthen the core tenets of the international system, including the UN Charter and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as we seek to shape the emergence of new technologies and deter new threats? Or will we allow those universal principles to be trampled and twisted in the pursuit of naked political power? In my view, how we answer these questions in this moment, whether we choose to fight for our shared future or not, will reverberate for generations yet to come. Simply put, we stand, in my view, at an inflection point in history. And I'm here today to share with you how the United States intends to work with partners and allies to answer these questions, and the commitment of my new administration to help lead the world toward a more peaceful, prosperous future for all people. Instead of continuing to fight the wars of the past, we are fixing our eyes on devoting our resources to the challenges that hold the keys to our collective future. Ending this pandemic, addressing the climate crisis, managing the shifts in global power dynamics, shaping the rules of the world on vital issues like trade, cyber, and emerging technologies, and facing the threat of terrorism as it stands today. We've ended 20 years of conflict in Afghanistan, and as we close this period of relentless war, we're opening a new era of relentless diplomacy, of using the power of our development aid to invest in new ways of lifting people up around the world, of renewing and defending democracy, of proving that no matter how challenging or how complex the problems we're going to face, government by and for the people.
Is it cool to badmouth Biden? Well, it's okay to criticize, like, so, like,
as the United States turns
yeah, sure, like, obviously I'm, like, memeing, but, like, just to be clear, like, no one is above criticism, right? And I feel like out of all the like issues, to me, as me speaking, like, personally, the most important and pressing issues to me would be climate change, and it is worrying and disappointing, worrying that a lot of this administration's goals, rhetoric, are not matching the policies that are necessary. I understand that it's not just Biden, but he is the president, and the Democratic Party does have the Senate, albeit very slim, does have the House, albeit very slim. So it is very, very aggravating and infuriating and worrying that they can't seem to get it together to accomplish any of it. And it's, I understand that obviously the Republicans will be in opposition, but to have even like Democratic senators really trying to torpedo something as important as a climate legislation is very worrisome, and I think it warrants criticism. There's a lot that he could be doing through executive order, but he has this weird obsession with bipartisanship. True. I mean, there's also that. I mean, like, he's the current person in power right now, and I think that given the fact that not only does he have the Senate and the House, the Democratic Party has the Senate and the House, they should be trying to work in tandem to get this legislation through. And it's very infuriating when something like a budget reconciliation that requires no Republican votes is now being put into threat by like someone like Joe Manchin because of climate change legislation inside that 3.5 trillion. So only a mean, bossy president works? Well, no, that's not what I said. I said that he has other options that he could be doing, and it's not just him. He also should be pushing the Senate and the House. Otherwise, we just stay here in perpetuity. Does that make sense? We stay here in perpetuity where nothing really meaningful gets done. Sure, there have been things here and there that are good. I think the child tax credit is good. I think that the rescue plan and the payments, albeit slim, did help people. I think that the extended unemployment, I think the expansion of SNAP benefits, these are all positive things. However, I just feel like the solutions that are being put forth are inadequate and don't really seem to hit the root of the problems, right? Like when you talk about like massive inequality and stuff like that, I mean, the expansion of some safety nets is good. Obviously, it does affect real people, but I mean, it's woefully underwhelming. If I'm being quite frank, it's woefully underwhelming, and especially Like I said, my big issue is always the climate change. It's always climate change. That is like my main issue that I talk about a lot. And the response has been really, really, really underwhelming, and it's worrying. It's not just about me as well. You know, people here are nice. True. That's the whole idea. Yeah, he could also cancel debt, student debt, and among other things, I believe. I'm not sure how much power he has with that, but I'm pretty sure he could do something about it. But like I said, it's just woefully underwhelming. And furthermore, what it's going to end up doing is it's going to end up reversing a lot of momentum that we need. And well, you know, it just depends on the next couple of months what actions are taken. But would you agree that because of the underwhelming performance, people are going to not show up in the 2022 midterms, and then therefore they're going to lose? And then if that happens, they're for sure going to lose 2024, and then we're stuck with a pretty much like full Republican legislation, and I would argue that's worse. The extreme left and right attack and insult Biden every second it works. Well, it's not about like attacking and insulting people. I don't think that what I'm doing is really attacking him, other than obviously I'm just memeing him, sure. But, you know, he's a public figure. He's going to be fine if I meme on his orange appearance. But I really do have genuine criticism for him. And I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
Our focus to the priorities and the regions of the world, like the Indo-Pacific, that are most consequential today and tomorrow. We'll do so with our allies and partners through cooperation at multilateral institutions like the United Nations to amplify our collective strength and speed our progress toward dealing with these global challenges. There's a fundamental truth of the 21st century within each of our countries and as a global community that our own success is bound up in others succeeding as well. To deliver for our own people, we must also engage deeply with the rest of the world. To ensure that our own future, we must work together with other partners, our partners, toward a shared future. Our security, our prosperity, and our very freedoms are interconnected, in my view, as never before. And so, I believe we must work together as never before. Over the last 8 months, I've prioritized rebuilding our alliances, revitalizing our partnerships, and recognizing they are essential and central to America's enduring security and prosperity. We have reaffirmed our sacred NATO alliance to Article 5 commitment. We're working with our allies toward a new strategic concept that will help our alliance better take on evolving threats of today and tomorrow. We renewed our engagement with the European Union, a fundamental partner in tackling the full range of significant issues facing our world today. We elevated the Quad partnership among Australia, India, Japan, and the United States.
You're good. You're
take
good.
on challenges ranging from health security to climate.
Yeah, you're good.
To emerging technologies. We're engaging with regional institutions from ASEAN.
What was
the
that
African
camera
Union, to
pan?
the Organization of American States to focus on people's urgent needs for better health and better economic outcomes. We're back at the table in international forums, especially the United Nations, to focus attention and to spur global action on shared challenges. We are re-engaged at the World Health Organization and working in close partnership with COVAX to deliver life-saving vaccines around the world. We rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement, and we're running to retake a seat in the Human Rights Council next year at the UN. And as the United States seeks to rally the world to action, we will lead not just with the example of our power, but God willing with the power of our example. Make no mistake, the United States will continue to defend ourselves, our allies, and our interests against attack, including terrorist threats, as we prepare to use force if any is necessary. But to defend our vital U.S. national interest, including against ongoing and imminent threats. But the mission must be clear and achievable, undertaken with informed consent of the American people, and whenever possible, in partnership with our allies. U.S. military power must be our tool of last resort, not our first. And it should not be used as an answer to every problem we see around the world. Indeed, today, many of our greatest concerns cannot be solved or even addressed through the force of arms. Bombs and bullets cannot defend against COVID-19 or its future variants. To fight this pandemic, we need a collective act of science, and political will. We need to act now to get shots in arms as fast as possible and expand access to oxygen, tests, treatments to save lives around the world. And for the future, we need to create a new mechanism to finance global health security that builds on our existing development assistance and global health and a global health threat council that is armed with the tools we need to monitor and identify emerging pandemics so that we can take immediate action. Already, the United States has put more than $15 billion toward the global COVID response. We've shipped more than 160 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine to other countries. This includes 130 million doses from our own supply and the first tranches of 500 million doses of Pfizer vaccine we purchased to donate through COVAX. Planes carrying vaccines from the United States have already landed in 100 countries, bringing people all over the world a little dose of hope, as one American nurse termed it to me.
I've never had to deal with that, Dustin. I don't even know how to begin. Even though I work with insurance and stuff like that, I don't even know where to begin with that. Did the camera person slip or fall? No. Probably just the camera that was panned just probably went like this on the tripod.
A dose of hope, direct from the American people, and importantly, no strings attached. And tomorrow,
yeah, that's good. I think that the U.S. And any country that is capable, every country, every able country that is capable of moving vaccines or providing the resources to make the vaccines should be doing so.
At the U.S.-hosted Global COVID-19 Summit, I'll be announcing additional commitments as we seek to advance the fight against COVID-19 and hold ourselves accountable around specific targets on 3 key challenges: saving lives now,
Wait.
A rosy picture of itself for years. Flashy ads with pretty colors and smiling faces can distract you from the real harm that comes from their dirty energy. Sort of misleading, right? So here at the Union of Concerned Scientists, we asked Dr. Astrid Caldas and Dr. Gretchen Goldman to take a look at how Chevron markets itself these days. Here was their reaction.
This is a story about doers, wings, and neighbors. When you're creating the energy that keeps doers doing, you can't lose sight of the bigger picture. Like in '75, a hiker found endangered butterflies near Chevron's El Segundo refinery.
An El Segundo blue.
An El Segundo. What are the odds?
Because it's
When
a
these
salt man,
doers heard
that's
about the
right.
colony in their backyard, they protected the habitat and planted the only thing they eat, buckwheat. Picky.
And we keep planting it.
Doers finding better ways to do what they do to keep doers doing.
Even for our littlest neighbors.
Ooh.
vaccinating the world, and building back better.
That ad was
This year's
actually
also brought
interesting.
widespread death and devastation from the borderless climate crisis. The extreme weather events that we have seen in every part of the world, and you all know it and feel it, represent what the Secretary General has rightly called Code Red for humanity. And the scientists and experts are telling us that we're fast approaching a point of no return in a literal sense. To keep within our reach the vital goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, every nation needs to bring their highest possible ambitions to the table when we meet in Glasgow for COP26. And then, they have to keep raising our collective ambition over time. In April, I announced the United States' ambitious new goal
Mickey
under the
Mouse
Paris Agreement
Studios.
to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the United States by 50 to 52% below 2005 levels by 2030. As we work
The
toward
previous
achieving
ad was
clean
all
energy
over the
economy
place.
with
It was
net zero
interesting.
emissions by 2050. And my administration is working closely with our Congress to make critical investments in green infrastructure and electric vehicles that will help us lock in progress at home toward our climate goals. And the best part is, making these ambitious investments isn't just good climate policy, it's a chance for each of our countries to invest in ourselves and our own future. It's an enormous opportunity to create good-paying jobs for workers in each of our countries and to spur long-term economic growth that will improve the quality of life for all of our people. We also have to support the countries and people that will be hit the hardest and that have the fewest resources to help them adapt. In April, I announced the United States will double our public international financing to help developing nations tackle the climate crisis. And today, I'm proud to announce that we'll work with the Congress to double that number again, including for adaptation efforts. This will make the United States a leader in public climate finance, and with our added support, together with increased private capital and from other donors, we'll be able to meet the goal of mobilizing $100 billion to support climate action in developing nations. As we deal with these crises, we're also encountering a new era, an era of new technologies and possibilities
True.
that have potential to release and reshape every aspect of human existence.
True. What we really need is, well, one of the main things that we need to focus on if we want to have a chance is just seriously decoupling ourselves from fossil fuels. Just period, full stop. That requires in whatever way, shape, or form we can, and as quickly as possible. In every way that we could decouple ourselves from fossil fuels, that's what should be moving in that direction. As one of the things that we need to do as part of, like, you know, there's like main bodies, main things that we can do, and that would be one of them.
It's up to all of us to determine whether these technologies are a force to empower people or to deepen repression. As new technologies continue to evolve, we'll work together with our democratic partners to ensure that new advances in areas from biotechnology to quantum computing, 5G, artificial intelligence, and more are used to lift people up, to solve problems, and advance human freedom, not to suppress dissent or target minority communities. And the United States intends to make a profound investment in research and innovation, working with countries at all stages of economic development to develop new tools and technologies to help us tackle the challenges of this second quarter of the 21st century and beyond. We're hardening our critical infrastructure against cyber attacks, disrupting ransomware networks, and working to establish clear rules of the road for all nations as it relates to cyberspace. We'll reserve the right to respond decisively to cyber attacks that threaten our people, our allies, or our interests. We will pursue new rules of global trade and economic growth that strive to level the playing field so that it's not artificially tipped in favor of any one country at the expense of others. And every nation has the right and opportunity to compete fairly. We will strive to ensure that basic labor rights, environmental safeguards, and intellectual property are protected, and that the benefits of globalization are shared broadly throughout all our societies. We'll continue to uphold the long-standing rules and norms that have formed the guardrails of international engagement for decades, that have been essential to the development of nations around the world. Bedrock commitments like freedom of navigation, adherence to international laws and treaties, support for arms control measures that reduce the risk and enhance transparency. Our approach is firmly grounded and fully consistent with the United Nations mission and the values we've agreed to when we drafted this charter. These are commitments we all made and that we're all bound to uphold. And as we strive to deal with these urgent challenges, whether they're long-standing or newly emerging, we must also deal with one another.
And does that count for us too? Like, are we also bound to respect international laws and stuff like that? Does that also apply to us, or? That's right. That's right. Spread it forward. Clearly, that just tells me that we should probably reorganize the way we do the economy and probably reorganize our priorities. It is also a tradition, and the Democratic Party to give a speech like this. Whether it's done, that's more complex. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not disagreeing with the underlying rhetoric behind what he's talking about. It's clear that we do need an international cooperation to deal with climate change, so on and so forth. Like I said, I'm just really disappointed, underwhelmed, and worried at the Mickey map going around. Oh, the Disney companies that Disney owns. What? They own Fox Entertainment? What? What? They own ESPN? Construction companies? Hulu? They own Hulu? What? Enhance. Sky UK, Sky Ireland. What? I did not know they own Hulu. And then they damn, and they really tried selling us Disney Plus? What? These people unironically tried to sell us Disney Plus while also simultaneously owning Hulu? Unbelievable. Yeah, Disney owns Fox, Marvel, ESPN, ABC, and yeah, I mean, the way this is going, shoot, we might end up working for the mouse. We might end up working for the mouse. Yeah, no wonder GoPros are so expensive. We might end up working for the mouse. That's unbelievable.
All the major powers of the world have a duty, in my view, to carefully manage their relationships so they do not tip from responsible competition to conflict. The United States will compete, and will compete vigorously, and lead with our values and our strength. We'll stand up for our allies and our friends and oppose attempts by stronger countries to dominate weaker ones, whether through changes to territory by force, economic coercion, technical exploitation, or disinformation. But we're not seeking, say it again, we are not seeking a new Cold War or a world divided into rigid blocks.
So then, why? So then, just say that. wait. So then, just say that. We will compete vigorously. It's not great rhetoric.
The United States is ready to work with any nation that steps up.
Right, it's collaborate. Well, yeah, especially his entire speech has been revolved around things that are, his entire speech is revolving around things that will require. Doesn't matter what you feel about it. Requires collaboration. A global pandemic requires global cooperation. The same thing with climate change. When that, if we are to even have a chance, it is going to require global cooperation, and this is not the way. At least using that type of rhetoric, you can't say simultaneously that you want to bring everybody together while also simultaneously saying that you want to compete rigorously. I don't even know what that means, but yeah.
To share challenges, even if we have intense disagreements in other areas, because we'll all suffer the consequences of our failure if we do not come together to address the urgent threats like COVID-19, climate change, or enduring threats like nuclear proliferation.
This is the checkers game where grandson.
The United States remains committed to preventing Iran from gaining a nuclear weapon.
Competition is what got us into multiple existential crises. True.
And the secret return to JCPOA.
True.
We're prepared to return to full compliance if Iran does the same. Similarly, we seek serious and sustained diplomacy to pursue the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. We seek concrete progress toward an available plan with tangible commitments that would increase stability on the peninsula and in the region, as well as improve the lives of the people in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. We must also remain vigilant to the threat of terror that terrorism poses to all our nations, whether emanating from distant regions of the world or in our own backyards.
What?
We know the bitter sting of terrorism is real. We've almost all experienced it. Last month, we lost 13 American heroes and almost 200 innocent Afghan civilians in a heinous terrorist attack at the Kabul airport. Those who commit acts of terrorism against us will continue to find a determined enemy in the United States. The world today is not the world of 2001, though. And the United States is not the same country we were when we were attacked on 9/11 20 years ago. Today, we're better equipped to detect and prevent terrorist threats, and we are more resilient in our ability to repel them and to respond.
It is listen, I understand that it's probably relevant because it's recent, but I feel like we talk about overseas terrorism in almost, is that a mandatory shoehorned talking point that you have to talk about when you make speeches, international speeches. I don't know. Feels weird. I guess it's kind of relevant, but
build effective partnerships to dismantle terrorist networks by targeting their financing and support systems, countering their propaganda, preventing their travel, as well as disrupting imminent attacks. We'll meet terrorist threats that arise today and in the future with a full range of tools available to us, including working in cooperation with local partners so that we need not be so reliant on large-scale military deployments. One of the most important ways we can effectively enhance security and reduce violence is by seeking to improve the lives of the people all over the world who see that their governments are not serving their needs. Corruption fuels inequality, siphons off a nation's resources, spreads across borders, and generates human suffering.
True. Wait, true. So what we gonna do about it? I think that the answer to this question is to have more democracy.
Is nothing less than a national security threat in the 21st century. Around the world, we're increasingly seeing citizens demonstrate their discontent, seeing the wealthy and well-connected grow richer and richer, taking payoffs and bribes, operating above the law, while the vast majority of the people struggle to find a job, or put food on the table, or to get their businesses off the ground, or simply send their children to school. People take to the streets in every region to demand that their governments address people's basic needs, give everyone a fair shot to succeed, and protect their God-given rights. And in that chorus of voices, across languages and continents, we hear a common cry, a cry for dignity, simple dignity. As leaders, it's our duty to answer that call, not to silence it. The United States is committed to using our resources and our international platform to support these voices, listen to them, partner with them to find ways to respond that advance human dignity around the world. For example, there's an enormous need for infrastructure in developing countries. But infrastructure that is low quality or that feeds corruption or exacerbates environmental degradation may only end up contributing to greater challenges for countries over time. Done the right way, however, with transparent, sustainable investment in projects that respond to the country's needs and engage their local workers.
So I don't know what the plan is, but I said this before. What would be a fantastic idea is essentially if the U.S. begins to engage in what effectively could be called a green Belt Road Initiative, right? Building partnerships, collaboration, and building these infrastructures in terms of like, the countries that need help. We can do green Belt Road initiatives as part of a piece of what we can do. One of the many things that we have the absolute capabilities of doing.
To maintain high labor and environmental standards, infrastructure can be a strong foundation that allows societies in low and middle income countries to grow and to prosper. That's the idea behind the Build Back Better world. And together with the private sector and our G7 partners, we aim to mobilize hundreds of billions of dollars in infrastructure investment. We will also continue to be the world's largest contributor to humanitarian assistance, bringing food, water, shelter, emergency health care, and other vital life-saving aid to millions of people in need. When the earthquake strikes, the typhoon rages, or disaster anywhere in the world, the United States shows up. We'll be ready to help. And at a time when nearly 1 in 3 people globally do not have access to adequate food just last year, the United States is committing to rallying our partners to address immediate malnutrition and to ensure that we can sustainably feed the world for the decades to come. To that end, the United States is making a $10 billion commitment to end hunger and invest in food systems at home.
We could do that right now.
Since 2000, the United States government has provided more than $140 billion to advance health and strengthen health systems, and we will continue our leadership to drive these vital investments to make people's lives better every single day. Just give them a little breathing room. And as we strive to make lives better, we must work with renewed purpose to end the conflicts that are driving so much pain and hurt around the world. We must redouble our diplomacy and commit to political negotiations, not violence, as a tool of first resort. To manage tensions around the world, we must seek a future of greater peace and security for all people of the Middle East. The commitment of the United States to Israel's security is without question, and our support for an independent...
I agree with what he's saying, but like, I feel like, can we please just like hit it at the root of the problem? I feel like these are just not acknowledging the real root of the problem. Like, yes, you can throw billions of dollars and whatnot to try to support people who are hungry, or if they're hungry, You give them food, right? Food. We produce an untold metric tons of food that just gets thrown out and whatnot. I mean, like, if the problem is hunger, food. Give them food. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we should probably address the solution, the root of the problem.
Jewish state is unequivocal, but I continue to believe that a two-state solution is the best way to ensure Israel's future as a Jewish democratic state, living in peace alongside a viable, sovereign, and democratic Palestinian state. We're a long way from that goal at this moment, but we must never allow ourselves to give up on the possibility of progress. We cannot give up on solving raging civil conflicts, including in Ethiopia and Yemen, where fighting between warring parties is driving famine, horrific violence, human rights violations against civilians, including the unconscionable use of rape as a weapon of war. We'll continue to work with the international community to press for peace and bring an end to this suffering. As we pursue diplomacy across the board, the United States will champion the democratic values that go to the very heart of who we are as a nation and a people: freedom, equality, opportunity, and a belief in the universal rights of all people. It's stamped into our DNA as a nation, and critically, it's stamped into the DNA of this institution, the United States. We sometimes forget. I quote the opening words of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, quote, "The equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world." The founding ethos of the United Nations places the rights of individuals at the center of our system. And that clarity and vision must not be ignored or misinterpreted. The United States will do our part, but will be more successful and more impactful if all of our nations are working toward the full mission to which we are called.
Hey everybody, I'm Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, and I'm running for the...
What? Ron Johnson is up for re-election?
That's why more than 100 nations united again around a shared statement. The Security Council adopted a resolution outlining how we'll support the people of Afghanistan moving forward, laying out the expectations to which we'll hold the Taliban when it comes to respecting universal human rights. We all must advocate for women, the rights of women and girls to use their full talents, to contribute economically, politically, and socially, and pursue their dreams free of violence and intimidation. From Central America to the Middle East to Africa to Afghanistan, wherever it appears in the world. We all must call out and condemn the targeting and oppression of racial, ethnic, and religious minorities, whether it occurs in Xinjiang or northern Ethiopia or anywhere in the world. We all must defend the rights of LGBTQI individuals so they can live and love openly without fear, whether it's Chechnya or Cameroon or anywhere. As we steer our nations toward this inflection point and work to meet today's fast-moving, cross-cutting challenges, let me be clear. I am not agnostic about the future we want for the world. The future will belong to those who embrace human dignity, not trample it. The future will belong to those who unleash the potential of their people, not those who stifle it. The future will belong to those who give their people the ability to breathe free, not those who seek to suffocate their people with an iron hand. Authoritarianism, the authoritarianism of the world, may seek to proclaim the end of the age of democracy, but they're wrong. The truth is, the democratic world is everywhere. It lives in the anti-corruption activists, human rights defenders, the journalists, the peace protesters. On the front lines of this struggle in Belarus, Burma, Syria, Cuba, Venezuela, and everywhere in between. It lives in the brave women of Sudan who withstood violence and oppression to push a genocidal dictator from power and who keep working every day to defend their democratic progress. It lives in the proud Moldovans who helped deliver a landslide victory for the forces of democracy with a mandate to fight graft, to build a more inclusive economy. It lives in the young people of Zambia who harnessed the power of their vote for the first time, turning out in record numbers to denounce corruption and chart a new path for their country. And while no democracy is perfect, including the United States, we'll continue to struggle to live up to the highest ideals to heal our divisions. And we face down violence and insurrection. Democracy remains the best tool we have to unleash our full human potential. My fellow leaders, this is a moment where we must prove ourselves the equals of those who come before us, who with vision and values and determined faith in our collective future built our United Nations, broke the cycle of war and destruction, and laid the foundations for more than 7 decades of relative peace and growing global prosperity. Now, we must again come together to affirm the inherent humanity that unites us is much greater than any outward divisions or disagreements. We must choose to do more than we think we can do alone so that we accomplish what we must together. Ending this pandemic and making sure we're better prepared for the next one. Staving off climactic climate change and increasing our resilience to the impacts we already are seeing. ensuring a future where technologies are a vital tool to solving human challenges and empowering human potential, not a source of greater strife and repression. These are the challenges that will determine what the world looks like for our children and our grandchildren and what they'll inherit. We can only meet them by looking to the future. I stand here today for the first time in 20 years with the United States not at war. We've turned the page. All the unmatched strength, energy, and commitment, will, and resources of our nation are now fully and squarely focused on what's ahead of us, not what was behind. I know this. As we look ahead, we will lead. We will lead on all the greatest challenges of our time, from COVID to climate, peace and security, human dignity and human rights, but we will not go it alone. We will lead together with our allies and partners and in cooperation with all those who believe, as we do, that this is within our power to meet these challenges, to build a future that lifts all of our people and preserves this planet. But none of this is inevitable. It's a choice. And I can tell you where America stands. We will choose to build a better future. We, you and I, we have the will and capacity to make it better. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford to waste any more time. Let's get to work. Let's make our better future now. We can do this. It's within our power and capacity. Thank you. God bless you all.
I like Joey exudes stability and firmness after the chaos of Trumpy is just what the U.S. needs. And well, what do you... Well, I don't know. I think that failure to meaningfully address any of these problems will just come back worse. That's all I'm saying. Failure to address any of these real problems at the core will only come back worse. Alright folks, my head kind of hurts. We might be able to get through some of it. Hold on. I might be able to do a couple pages. It's 3 a.m. here. I gotta sleep, but at least my head doesn't hurt. Well, get some rest, my friend. Trump would have made everything much worse to the detriment of the U.S. Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. That's why I believe the majority of people decided to vote Donald Trump out. However, there was a that came with the caveat that the Democratic Party, now in power, would make things better. If they fail to make meaningful headway in any of this, what's going to happen is that the backlash will be a lot worse, and what's going to end up happening, and I can see it. They will be swept in the midterms, and they will be swept in 2024. That's what I mean. All right, let's see if we can do some of this. Ooh. Before I get started, folks, I do want to thank everybody for hanging out here. Just do a quick show for myself. If you guys enjoyed the content, we do lots of stuff here. We do news, we do politics, we do all the stuff. Please make sure you follow us, and follow us on Twitch. Hit us up on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you join us on the Twitters. Make sure you join us on Discord. All of that awesome stuff to keep up with the channel. And of course, spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics. We are usually, our normal times, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday, and Saturdays about noon Eastern Time. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. You guys are what makes this go, so I appreciate it. Alright, let's see if we can get through a page or two. Global warming associated with published emission pathways ranges from less than 1.5 degrees Celsius at peak to greater than 5 degrees Celsius by 2100 compared to pre-industrial levels. Baseline scenarios without any new climate policies leads to a global mean warming of 3.3 to 5.4 degrees Celsius by 2100, medium confidence, limiting warming to below 1.5 or 2 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels require rapid GHG emission reductions and fundamental structural change at a global scale. High confidence. Weaker near-term action would place limiting warming to these levels out of reach, and it would entail assumptions about subsequent accelerated policy development and technology development and deployment inconsistent with evidence and projection in the assessed literature. High confidence. In the absence of new climate policies and without the implementation of current pledges, annual GHG emissions in baseline scenarios increase from 58 to 59 to 80 gigatons per year. I assume that's what it means. By 2030, and to 63 to 110 gigatons per year by 2050, resulting in global warming of 3.3 to 5.4 degrees Celsius by 2100. Medium confidence. The highest emission scenarios in this literature combine assumptions about rapid long-term economic growth and pervasive climate policy failure, leading to a reversal of some of the recent trends and a fossil fuel dominated future. In pathways that limit global warming to below 3 degrees Celsius by 2100, CO2 emissions peak at around 2035, range 2020 to 2060. In pathways that limit global warming to below 2.2 degrees Celsius by 2100, 50% greater probability. So even below 2 degrees Celsius, even at 2 degrees Celsius by 2100, that's a coin flip. A coin flip. CO2 emissions peak immediately. Range 2020 to 2025. Many pathways in the literature limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2100, 50% probability with a temperature overshoot of less than 0.1 degrees Celsius, low overshoot. But only a few limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2100, 50% probability without overshoot during the course of the 21st century. High confidence. Mitigation pathways likely to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius by 2100 are associated with net global GHG emissions of 34 to 56 gigatons per year by 2030 and 15 to 25 gigatons per year in 2050. These correspond to GHG emissions reductions of 4 to 40% by 2030 and 55 to 74% by 2050 relative to modeled 2020 emission levels. Pathways that limit global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2100 with 50% probability and low overshoot require further acceleration in the pace of transformation with GHG emissions reductions of 35 to 60% by 2030, 73 to 94% in 2050 relative to modeled 2020 emission levels. Medium confidence. Ooh. I heard today that by 2050, Africa will have 1 billion more people, undermining any progress made to stop climate change. That doesn't sound right on its surface. On the surface, it doesn't sound right. You can try to post links, but or send me a link, but that doesn't sound right. Like, just by common sense. And here's the table. And like, furthermore, like, what does that mean? Mainstream, like, I don't know. Fox News also says that climate change is, like, I don't know, not a big deal and stuff like that. That's mainstream news. So, like, what do you mean by that? And is it backed by actual, is it actually backed by scientists. So like when we make or when we read stuff out of the mainstream news, understand that it isn't always as it should. You know what I mean? Like we had the other day, I almost fell for fake news where a local article was trying to promote the unverifiable claims that that ivermectin causes what is it? That ivermectin causes infertility in men, right? It was a completely botched study, and it's just not true. That was on the local news. So like, I don't know, when we make claims, especially claims that have send it to me, Fifth Dimension. When we make claims based on something that we saw on the mainstream news, when it comes to scientific claims, it would behoove us to take like one step further to make sure that what we're reading is actually how it's presented. Scientists have also said that sometimes it's quite frustrating how certain things are portrayed in the media and how the interpretation of a study can be used in the media. So like, it would behoove us to, before making claims, to really just kind of take a look at it. Send it to me. It looks like Africa is expected to double in population by 2050, but how does that undermine efforts to stop climate change? Right, which is like I said, on the surface, it just makes no sense. Anyways, if you have it, post it, or I should say whisper it to me, because I have links disabled. In most pathways, global average temperature peaks or stabilizes roughly when global CO2 emissions reach net zero. The timing of peak temperature also depends on non-CO2 emissions. The level of peak warming is determined by remaining carbon budget until the time when net zero emissions are reached, and the level of non-CO2 emissions by that time. A more rapid transition towards net zero CO2 emissions limit peak warming levels and avoids temperature overshoot and net negative CO2 emissions. High confidence. The remaining carbon budget. Yeah, because like I could say, hey, look, the United States is currently experiencing a very, very it's plummeting in terms of like population, right? In terms of like birth rate. However, it is somehow still emitting or responsible for the massive amounts of emission. I would say that's more of a detriment to stop climate change. Americans' reluctance to reduce demand for emissions is the single more important data point to engage when talking about climate change. Africans aren't driving SUVs to get Starbucks nor True. That's why I said to Reddit vote on its surface. It makes absolutely no sense. It just doesn't. And like, the more developed you get, the less of a population growth rate happens. So you'll see like in developed countries, you'll see like these things go like this and then like immediately like plummet. So yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. It one of these things is not like the other. The world population growth peaked in 1960 and it has been declining rapidly since then. Do you mean like the population growth rate? I believe that. Along with any level of non-CO2 emissions at that time, the remaining carbon budget... Oh, wait. Oh yeah, the remaining carbon budget until global CO2 emissions reach net zero is the key determinant of level of peak warming, along with the level of non-CO2 emissions at that time. The remaining carbon budget from the year 2019 in pathways that limit warming to 1.5 degrees with 50% probability is around 525, give or take 345 to 680 gigatons. So that's the mean, or average, I should say. Gigatons of carbon dioxide in the case of low overshoot, and around 710, which is between 540 and 900 gigatons in the case of a higher overshoot. Pathways likely to limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius have a higher carbon budget of around 870 700 to 1,075 gigatons of carbon dioxide. Cumulative CO2 emissions from 2019 to 2100 in pathways that limit medium warming to below 3 degrees Celsius around 2685. Jesus Christ, but man, 3 degrees Celsius is catastrophic. That's not acceptable. 2,345 to 3,65 gigatons of carbon dioxide. The number of people that kids have. Okay, I see. That's it. Yeah, that makes sense. In most pathways, temperatures peak or are stabilized roughly about. In most pathways, temperatures peak or are stabilized roughly at the time global CO2 emissions reach net zero. Lower peak temperatures are associated with earlier carbon neutrality. True. Africa could become a solar punk paradise. Man, the potential for solar is very true. Darknet, very true. The potential for solar is unironically limitless. Emerging populations and economies just require more carbon emissions? No. Emerging populations can emit, depending. As far as I'm concerned right now, I believe we actually went over this earlier. Developing countries don't emit nearly as much. Nearly as much as the wealthier countries, which again, these are, you're trying to equate population growth with emissions. That's not always true. That's not always true. Anyways, just hang tight and never mind what you see on the mainstream news. These are the collective findings of an international coalition of tens of thousands of climate scientists, among other experts, culminated right here. So I would probably defer to them. If you notice, folks, for the folks who have been here, and for the folks who bared with me for the entirety of the technical summary of the IPCC report, the culmination of the world's hive mind of scientists who are experts, tens of thousands of international experts. Can anybody remember, especially those who have been here for quite for the journey, can anybody remember any of them mentioning population growth? Just saying. Can anybody remember them saying anything regarding to population growth or population density or whatever? In fact, I could probably search Control F for population, and I probably won't find anything relevant to population size in the entirety of the IPCC report. The culmination, again, of the hive mind, the climate scientists from here, from the international, and tens of thousands of them too. It's not just like a couple of people that got together. And decades of data, all analyzed, all put together, from previous to future data, models and predictions. None of them even mention anything like that. Right, exactly, Darknet. That's exactly my point. So, yeah, we can just kind of comfortably brush that aside. It's irrelevant. Clearly, the most emphasized thing that we need to do is reduce the emissions. That's the biggest thing that they've been harping on, is reducing emissions and reorganizing our priority as how we think about these things in society. Right, like the biggest thing, if anything, if you take away anything from all that we've read, is that we just need to get off fossil fuels. As far as like one of the biggest cores of this entire thing is we just need to cut fossil fuels. Full stop, in every way that we can, in any way that we can, and as many ways and as quickly as we can. The clearing of the Amazon is directly related to population. Nope. Negative. Nope. Google why the Amazon is being cleared, and then come back to me. Nope. Google the reason why the Amazon, like, I don't know, like, this is like this must be this yeah, it's being cleared to feed livestock. That's what it is. It's not like new like buildings, because it's overflowing with people. Okay. Not why it's being cleared. It's being cleared by farmers to have land to either A, grow soy crops for livestock, or B, have space to have livestock, from what I understand. So, no, farming to feed livestock. These are two different things. So just to be clear, do you realize that we overproduce a lot of food, right? We overproduce. We're not feeding more people. We're not feeding. We throw away an untold amount of metric tons of food every day. It's not feeding more people. The rate of the deforestation and the rate of how we are producing food isn't matching to the rate of the of whatever, like, number-wise people we have. It just doesn't make any sense. Explain to me the untold metric tons of food that we like throw out every day. Not feeding more people. Like, none of the things that you're making none of the things that you're saying are making any sense. How about instead of making these unrelated claims, or having these presuppositions, instead of having all of these presuppositions, how about we focus on what the real nitty-gritty data is, and what the scientists and all of these scientists and climate people are telling us, right? How about we concentrate on that instead of making like these random claims that have nothing to do with anything? Focus. In most pathways, temperatures peak or are stabilized roughly at the time of global CO2 emissions reach net zero. Lower peak temperatures are associated with earlier carbon neutrality, a warming in level with 1.5 degrees Celsius with 50% probability of both low and high overshoot corresponds to reaching carbon neutrality around 2050 to 2065, while limiting warming to below 2 degrees Celsius with a likely chance corresponds to reaching carbon neutrality between around 2070, which is 2060 to 2095, high confidence. Net zero GHG emissions imply deeper emission reductions than do net zero CO2 and results in a gradual decline of temperature over time, high confidence. The net zero year for GHG emissions is around 11 to 24 years, later than for CO2 in pathways that limit warming to below 2 degrees Celsius, and 12, which is 5 to 26 years, or pathways later for pathways that limit warming to below 1.5 degrees Celsius, medium confidence. In pathways that employ CO2 removal and reach net negative CO2 emissions, the remaining carbon budgets up to the year of net zero CO2 are considerably higher than cumulative CO2 emissions to 2100, high confidence. This is due to the overshoot of the carbon budget and temperature in pathways with net negative CO2 emissions. I mean, like, it's clear as day, right? You're supposed to do basically what they're telling us is what we can, whatever we can decouple from fossil fuels. Right now, we should be mobilizing everything and anything that we can within the tools and time we have to try to reduce this. And that this is the way. Early mitigation of short-lived non-CO2 forcers, which act as warming agents such as methane and black carbon, can contribute to limiting warming to a specified level. Reducing non-CO2 emissions more rapidly does not avoid the need to reduce CO2 emissions to net zero, but can expand the remaining carbon budget for a specific peak warming level. In other words, I believe it was you who brought this up, Darknet, that a key aspect of giving us the edge in this fight would be to reduce methane drastically, which will which can buy us just a tiny bit of time, enough time to maybe reach that goal. But you know, in deep mitigation pathways, non-CO2 forcers, the non-CO2 forcing prior to 2030 can be driven upwards by reduction in cooling aerosols, which override the effect of warming agents such as methane. The UN says that, not me. No, sorry, I should rephrase. Well, I mean, yeah, like obviously, I'm not the one saying any of this, but I should be more specific. The point that you had brought up based on your findings that were based off what the UN said is indicated here, actually. At least this is what it is alluding to. That we can buy ourselves a little bit of time and buy ourselves potentially saving the carbon budget, which is effectively buying us time to turn whatever corner as best we can, and essentially what we would be doing is giving us the closer to the better case scenarios out of the 5, which is ideal. But that just depends on what we do. Right. Reducing methane has a much faster result than reducing CO2. Yeah, which is, I believe, which is what they're trying to imply here. The TLDR is still the same. I mean, we have to, in every way, shape, form possible, reduce emissions. Period. Full stop. In pathways that assume lower demand, 1.5 and figure here, or shift development paths towards sustainability, mitigation challenges are significantly reduced. These pathways entail reduced dependence on CO2 removal, reduced pressure on land, and lower carbon prices. High confidence. A gradual strengthening of ambition. 2 degrees south. 2.0. Wait. Oh, these are the scenarios. I think this is what this is referring to. Stop growing soybeans and all this other stuff in the Amazon, or raising the land to the ground for the expansion of cattle farming. That is what we would be saying. A gradual strengthening of ambition, 2.0. Could reduce 2.0 GS. What is GS? Could reduce GHG emissions to 10 gigatons below the level implied by current pledges by 2030. This would avoid some carbon lock-ins and reduce potential disruptive developments associated with the near-term emission reductions. Such gradual strengthening of ambition would keep options open to limiting warming to below 2 degrees Celsius, but would place limiting warming to below 1 point with 5 degrees Celsius would low overshoot out of reach. Yikes. In all illustrated pathways, the AFOLU and energy supply sectors that reach net zero CO2 emissions earlier than the buildings, industry, and transport sectors. Yikes. Emissions from all latter sectors remain positive throughout the century in several of the illustrated pathways, and thus are thus compensated by CO2 removal in the AFOLU and energy supply sectors. Yeah, I mean, this is clear as day. We know what we have to do. Here they're saying, in all scenarios, the idea would be that they would reach net zero, or quickly, as quick to net zero as possible. Different regions may reach net zero CO2 emissions at different points in time. In modeled pathways, regions with higher potential for land-based mitigation tend to reach net zero emissions earlier than other regions. In most scenarios that limit global warming to below 10 degrees Celsius, that limit global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius or 1.5, all regions reach net zero emissions before the 2080s. The growing number of published mitigation pathways aids understanding the potential contributions of technological solutions to limit global warming. Less literature is available on how low demand pathways similar to 1.5. Low demand. Okay. That emphasize mitigation potential from behavioral and technological options on the demand side and on systems analytic studies that bring together supply and demand side solutions in an internally consistent way. Robust evidence medium agreement. A memo for the record. How's it going? Who spells it emphasize? Drew. Agriculture and energy are the easiest to change, right? Yeah. The potential for demand-side mitigation and new ways of providing services exist within and cut across the socio, behavioral, infrastructure, and technological domains. Just judging the British spelling. Behavioral, infrastructural, and technological domains, the GHG emissions reduction potentials in end-use sectors is as high as 50 to 80% in 2050. Providing basic services and meeting decent living standards everywhere requires transformation in infrastructure, high confidence. Demand-side options in end-use sectors can reduce 50 to 80% of global GHG emissions by 2050 compared to emissions under a scenario based on stated policies. Energy end-use technologies contribute to most mitigation in the transport, building, and industry sectors. Physical infrastructure such as compact cities, co-location of jobs and housing, and the reallocation of street space can contribute a third of GHG emission reductions in the transport sector. In the building sector, adopting zero energy carbon building standards and reducing overheating and overcooling and hot water and fitting buildings with renewable energy can all reduce GHG emissions. Nice. High confidence. Lifestyle options such as heating and cooling set point adjustments, reduced appliance use, shifts to human-centered mobility and public transport, reduced air travel, improved recycling, which form part of the demand side potential, can deliver an additional 2 gigatons of carbon dioxide savings in 2030 and 3 gigatons savings in 2050, beyond the savings achieved in conventional technology-centric mitigation scenarios. Yep, I mean, like, again, everyone who has the ability to, do these type of things, yeah, I mean, sure, absolutely. Smaller scale modular technologies and energy end use supply, smaller scale modular technologies and energy end use and energy supply diffuse more rapidly into markets, improving cost and performance faster through technological learning, offer efficiency benefits, escape technological lock-in more easily, and create more employment than centralized larger scale technologies. High confidence. A shift to diets with a higher share of plant-based protein in regions with excess consumption of calories and animal source food can lead to substantial reductions in GHG emissions while also providing health benefits. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Let's reiterate that one. A shift to diets with a higher share of plant-based protein in regions with excess consumption of calories and animal source food can lead to substantial reductions in GHG emissions while also providing health benefits. High confidence. Diets low in meat and dairy are already prevalent in many countries and cultures, and their take-up is increasingly from current low levels elsewhere. Nice. Well, that's a little bit of hopium. That's a little bit of hopium. Plant-based diets can reduce GHG emissions by up to 50% compared to the average emission-intensive Western diet. Wow. Providing better services with less energy and resource input is possible and consistent with providing well-being for all. Medium confidence. The impacts of improved service provision on the constituents of well-being has many more positives than negative impacts. In low energy demand scenarios, final energy demand is 40% lower in 2050 than in 2018, while well-being is maintained or improved. So we can do all of these things. So we can do all of these things. Scenarios that limit warming to 2 degrees Celsius and 1.5 degrees Celsius imply energy system transformations over the coming decades. These involve substantial reductions in fossil fuel use, major investments in low-carbon energy forms, switching to low-carbon energy carriers, and energy efficiency and conservation efforts. Institutional and technological lock-in to emitting infrastructure and energy system management approaches as a major risk arising from delaying mitigation action beyond the 2020-2030 timeframe. High confidence. Animal agriculture produces more greenhouse gases than all of transportation. True. Global energy sector emissions need to decline about 2.2 to 3.3% per year to 2050 to limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius and about 1.2 to 1.8 to limit degrees 1.2 to 1.8 degrees to limit warming to 2 degrees Celsius. Carbon neutral energy systems can combine zero or negative carbon electricity systems, widespread electrification of end uses, targeted use for alternative fuels such as hydrogen, bioenergy, and ammonia in hard to decarbonize sectors, energy conservation and efficiency measures, greater integration across energy systems, and the use of CDR to offset emissions from hard to decarbonize sectors. The approaches chosen would depend on national circumstance. The transformations needed for carbon neutral energy systems will not occur without changes involving technologies and infrastructure, institutions, firms, and individuals. High confidence. Oof. Alright, so we're at page 22. I think that's a perfect, well, we did more than a couple of pages, alright? I got a little excited. Excited in the sense that I am fascinated by the the wealth of information, the wealth of information that is in front of us. Folks, I do unfortunately have to get going. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out here, just hanging out, playing some Halo, going over some of the speech and the IPCC report. We'll continue our journey tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Darknet tipping with $7.25. Poggers, super poggers, unbelievable poggers. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. As always, please make sure you follow us. All right, just that follow button. Make sure you join us on the YouTubes, join us on the Discord, and join us on the Twitters, the Bird app. You deserve to make a minimum wage for your work. True. Actually, unironically true. No, I appreciate that. Any support, I do appreciate. Thank you so much. And of course, please spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Join us for Saturday Catterday around noon Eastern Time. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Thank you, Spread It Forward. Thank you, Darknet. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you guys. And as always, I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya! What? Hey. Really? What? It's just a blank screen? Boo. Alright, well, it's a blank screen, so might as well drop it off like this. That's so weird. Yeah, the space flight and exploration, all of that nonsense should probably be redirected to fighting climate change. Wow, it's literally just a blank screen. Alright, that's fine. Alright, folks, hang tight with us. We are going to not edit the title of the stream. We're going to raid Lost Sioux, actually. I don't often get the opportunity because probably I'm already at work when this happens, because usually I'm way deep in work. But hey, let's go hang out with Lost Sioux. Please, please show a difficult truth love to Lost Sioux. They are a fantastic, if you want to keep learning some more stuff, a fantastic indigenous creator. So please go show support. Please go follow. Please do all the stuffs. Alright, hang tight, folks. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. See ya.